New video. We about to do the ABS pump on the car. Finally came in a few days later, but not a problem. So I went ahead and I just disconnected the battery. This car on the F30 platform, very easy location. Just like 6 lines going through it. The whole electrical component and everything pops right out. It's right here on top. I'll show you guys now. That's the module right there. Driver's side, very easy. Those 6 lines right there. The whole thing comes up. Pull this clip up, pop this out, and then easy. Got my boy helping me out right here.
Big Head Auto, man. You already know, man. We're gonna get this shit right.
And then my boy over there working on his Evo. Just another day at the shop. Got these out with a 11 flared wrench, preferably to not strip them. They pull out and then remove this bolt, and then this whole thing should come out. Also got to pry this up, the bracket holding the connector in place to remove the control unit. This is the OEM replacement that I'm using. I did buy a used, came off of a car that was being parted out. It wasn't working condition beforehand, so it should work. Yo, my boy. Oh, from Bacon Auto.
I'm telling you, bro.
What you gotta say for the people?
BMW is just hard to work on, bro.
Bro, we're doing the ABS pump. That was easy.
Nah,
look at that.
Look at all that shit.
Beautiful. New one is in. All the lines are tight. Use the 11 mil. And then, yeah, time to bleed. And redo it the same way you want to do it. There's a thicker port, a little bit smaller port, and then a small port, then a big port. So you can't mix them up. They all go exactly where they gotta go. And those two are very simple, straightforward. Plug that in, push the pin back in place, and then that's it. Yo, real quick, we already bled the system. About to go on a quick test drive. And my boy right there on the monitor. My boy Ty in the back. Let's see how this goes. All the faults still on the dash, but hopefully everything go good.
Yeah.
Probably. I might have to switch up pump positions. Car driving good though.
That's perfect.
Driving good. I can speed up and everything now. That's a plus. I wasn't doing that before.
I feel so good. Like the suspension is so tight. Like BBC,
bro.
BBC. They said it BBC. BBC.
Speed and everything should good. It's just those faults. Lights
It's just giving me speed codes. That's the only thing it's giving me.
So we're going to sport mode right now?
No, it'll kick me out of sport mode.
So you try to use the brakes. Let's see.
This shit's worked.
Oh, no.
Alright, then, so we did another test. Front speed sensors ain't reading shit. So hopefully I still have my OEM ones, and I'm probably gonna clean those up real good, throw those back in. Since these are not OEM, these are like a store-bought sensor. Hopefully that'll clear up my issues. We'll see. Nothing but hope at this point. See what happens. What we got in store for today is going to be wheel spacers going on the car. And I'm not sure if y'all got to see in the last few clips, but the rear seems to be sitting a little bit lower than the front. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I like when the car looks nice and even. When I threw the coilovers on, I didn't do the greatest job at measuring. So, because of course I kind of rushed to finish and stuff. So today I'm going to try and get the level on point. I probably won't do the step conversion today. Probably do that another day, but I do have extended lug bolts for the meantime, just for now. And then if I do get the time, whether it's today or probably tomorrow, hopefully BMW does have my sensors ready at least by tomorrow, which would be Friday. Get to throw those onto the car, and then before the weekend, see if the fault's finally clear. I have another little thing that if I get the time to get into it, I'll get into it. And if not, we'll see when we do. Most likely tomorrow, but I'll give you a quick sneak peek. So if you don't know the brand, upside down, but Spool Performance. You already know. That quality. I am 50-50 right now. Car's on the ground. Spaces look fantastic with these wheels. Like the car looks really good with the wheels spaced out. But the front is sitting a tad bit higher. I overdid it when I adjusted it. So you see the front. I know to a lot of people it's perfect, but not for me. And you see the rears. The rears are butter, in my opinion. Since I got to redo the fronts and lower them a little bit more, better way to explain how the front system works and how to adjust them. So you see right there, this collar will hold this from screwing in and out of here. That's how you leave it in the locking position. These, you got to screw this one this way and this way, this one that way. Counter them to each other so that they're tight and then they won't move. This is to compress the spring rate. If you wanted to make this a tighter spring rate and it would also raise the car, what you would do is loosen both of these so that the screw doesn't move, and then you will just spin the top and that'll compress the spring and create a stiffer spring rate or whatnot. Me personally, I would leave them how they come because they ride great and they're tested, and I'd rather not mess with that. So leave that how it is, in my opinion. Depending on how you drive, what you use it for. If you know your thing, then you do your thing. But for me, basic dailying, basic going out with friends, having a little bit of fun here and there, leaving that how it is. And all I'm doing is loosening this screw, and then I'll be able to lower or raise the car. You create the gap about the size that you want to go down, and then as you continue to move the whole assembly, you'll see the screws start to go in, and that bottom collar is going to start to lower, and that means it's going in, and you'll know kind of relatively where you want your height to be. Remember, if you wanted to raise the car, you go the opposite way. The bottom one, in that case, you would spin upwards, going this way, and as you can see, it'll screw out of the cup, which is what you would want if you were raising the car. All right, you know what? Fitment dialed. I like it. I think it looks perfect. Once it's on the ground, I know it'll be good. So now, what I said I might do, I might not do. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Downpipe is right there, if I'm not mistaken, on this car. When I did it on my old one, it was fairly easy. So as long as that clamp, that V-band clamp isn't a bitch to come out, I'm gonna be all right. These two sensors, the O2 sensors, gotta come out. So I will pull that pin, that controls the O2s are right there. This gray one and this black one goes on the top, gray one goes on the bottom. You got the air filter out, it goes in there, pops out of there, and there. Whole thing comes out. Now you have access to the downpipe. It's right there. The V-band has a bolt at the very bottom. You can see it right there. That bolt, 13 millimeter. That'll loosen that whole thing. I'll loosen the clips up there and we're good to go. So far so good. Not gonna jinx myself, but I'm only like 5 minutes in. And that V-band, it's already out the way. Came out way easier than I thought. And then you can see the joint right there between the downpipe and the turbo, the exhaust housing of the turbo. What I did is I just spread the clamp open, move it over to the hot side of the turbo, and then that way that joint can just split off easily when I move it from the bottom. All right, we're officially under the car now. So from here, you see the end of the downpipe right here. We got one bolt right here. Is a 13 millimeter. And this right here is probably a 12 or 11. So I gotta remove this. This is what clamps the exhaust to the downpipe. Ooh, that's cracking. Well, it'll just be for now because we are replacing the exhaust. So no big deal. It'll hold in place no matter what. But it'll probably be an exhaust leak. But that'll get fixed real soon. So trust, don't worry. I wouldn't leave it like that forever. So remove that clamp, remove that bolt, whole exhaust will slide back because there's no more clamps holding it in place. And then, good thing this is a flexible joint right here, a flex pipe on the downpipe, and it should all just wiggle its way out. Fairly simple. So you see how rusty that bolt is. I went to try and turn it and I got scared. You know what? Time to resort to this bad boy, because these up north cars are no joke when it comes to rust. Just here, trying to melt the bolt off. What the fuck? This car is no joke. Alright, you can see it's glowing. Smoking a little bit, sprayed a tad bit of WD-40 on there, so let's get them threads loose. Yeah, I got hot. Alright, bolt is out. I mean, the nut is out, so be careful now though, because that shit is still hot. It's so hot that as I'm removing it with this socket, it freaking, even the socket decided to get hot. But all good, safe. Use a big wrench because it'll give you a better amount of leverage. Alright, smack this back from here to not bend anything. Let me zoom out so you can see better. So yeah, and then I was able to slide this part back with the flex pipe, push that out the way, moved it there. And then what that'll allow me to do is slide that downpipe down and wiggle it down. The cool thing about these cars is they already come with a 3 1/4 inch exhaust, which is nice because the upgrades are typically 3 1/2. But if you wonder why they're so good with just a downpipe and a tune, that is why. Got the old one out. Big ass cat. I'm about to remove that O2. Snap it on here, the bottom, and put the other one that I left off on the top. And look at this quality. Alright, I snaked the downpipe from the bottom to the top. This one is much easier to come in than the stock one because the stock one is a big tank. As you can see, I mounted it over the 2 screws in the back, the mount for it. I already got one of the O2s on. Just got to put this one. This one's easier to take on and off from the top while it's installed. So the other one I left off on and I snaked it out. Now I got it all. Now to mate it, I'm going to tighten the V-band, and then I'm not going to leave it fully tight so I can still wiggle the downpipe around to where I need it to be, but I want it to stay relatively in place over here. So I'm going to start tightening on it a little bit and then work my way down, make sure that she's all lined up and good. Alright, sensors hooked up the way they're supposed to be. Got the O2s in place, back one. I got the rear bracket in place as well with the 2 OEM nuts. Got the V-band in place. The reason why I leave the V-band like that is because if the next time that is too hard to take out, or it's seized in place or it strips, I'd rather have it in this position so that I could put an angle grinder right next to it and just cut it off. At some point we will upgrade this turbo. The time is not now, sadly, but soon. So yeah. Alright, it looks like I skipped through a lot, but honestly, really simple. Bottom of this air filter pops right into place. You guide it with that duct right there, and then you put the filter, the intake in place, and then you put the cap, slide it in there. We still got to tighten this right now, which I'm about to do, and then plug this back in, put all the clips back in, and then we're all good. And everything is wrapped up in here. Alright, don't mind the TV noise. Got my son in the garage with me, watching some beer. But I got this all bolted up underneath. Everything is looking good. We're about ready to lower the car and start it up and see what it sounds like. This will slide in here. Use this, reuse this bolt. Clamp it down. Once it's tight, you're good to go. Now that I'm sure I have everything up top bolted in place. And this right here, 12 mil for this exhaust mount, and then a 13 mil for this clamp, and then you're all set and good to go. All right, here we go. Put the car in Sport Plus. Let's hear this start up with the exhaust valve open. Cold start. I have a mic in the back that should be recording all the sound. Let's see what she sounds like. Cold start. Good. That stock exhaust does sound good. lot of work, but hey, we're getting there piece by piece, little by little. This is her final form for now, with the spacers on the stocks. She looks absolutely phenomenal. Perfect ride height. As she settles, the front will be a lot better, but she looks pretty dang perfect to me. Very, very pleased, very, very happy with the results.